Hello guys. So first let's touch the menu bar. Now your menu bar, we have file, we have edit, we have image, we have layer, we have select, we have filter, view, window, more, account. Now on your file menu, we have these options, and I think we explained this in class where we said new is to create a new project, open is to open an existing project, open and place is to insert an object from your system or your phone into the Photoshop interface, Photopea interface. Then open more is to open any other file, okay, maybe from cloud or anywhere, or from your folder, anywhere you want to. Then we have share, where you can share your files either in JPEG or PSD to anyone. Then we have save as PSD, which helps you to save your files to your system as a PSD file. Then we have save more, we have exporters, which helps you to export your already made design in JPEG or PNG or SVG so your clients can open it. Understood? Then we have the edit menu. Now, in your edit menu, you can see a lot of things. We have the undo, we have the step forward, we have the step backward. Undo and redo helps you to undo that mistake that you've done. Step backward helps you to move one step backward. Step step forward helps you to move one step forward. Step backward helps you to move one step backward. Then we have the copy, paste, and cut. Now, cut takes a it completely removes an object, okay, from a particular place and place it in the location that you will paste it in. That's what cut does. But when it comes to copy, it creates a duplicate and pastes it in the new location where you put it, which creates two duplicates of that same item in the same place. Then we have fill, we have stroke. Fill is just the fill is like, let's say, the color of your shirt is the fill color of the shirt. What is the overall color in the shirt? Now for this box I just drew, the overall color is lemon. Then we have what we call stroke. Now that stroke is the outline color, the color that is around the borders. Now for this fill, you can see fill here. This is the property panel. You can see fill here. Now we can click on this and easily change the color to this. Now when we change the color, I also want a stroke, and I will instead of this bad sign that is showing, I will change it to a fill. We also have gradient and we have pattern for your outline. But what I'm going to select is fill. Now selecting fill, I'm going to make it black and I'm going to increase the outline. So just so you can see it, okay? Just so you can see it, let's make that 100. That's the outline. Then we also have the corners. How do you want the outline corners to be? Do you want it to be sharp like that, or you want it to be curved? Now if you click on this is what happens to your design. Are you seeing the size of the box? That's what happens. Then you can either make the line to be dashed like this, or to be less dashy like polka dots. Okay, you can decide to increase the number of dashes. I can say, okay, I want this to be 9. Are you saying it? It's more close together. So let's say I leave it like this. I leave it like this. So you understand all of this. So you can choose another one, which is this one. Okay, you can choose another one. But let's remove the dashes completely. You can see that all sides are affected when I click this one. Now, if you decide to put it here, all sides are also affected. Okay, so you can have different ones. You can come here and change it. Maybe you want that curved edges from the inside, you can do it as well. Okay, but I want it at the outside, or you can say, okay, center, but no, I want it out the outside. Okay, so let's leave it like this. Now we have free, we have fixed ratio, we have fixed size, but for now, do not worry about this. You will not be using it, and I will not advise you use it. Okay, so the next thing we have is our content aware scale. Now this content aware scale, you will it just means that when I'm removing a background, I'm removing a background from my image, I want that um that effect to make sure that it recognizes my surrounding before removing the background. Understood? Then we have the puppet swap. I'm going to show you how to use the puppet swap. We have the free transform tool, which enables you, okay, to select an object and manipulate it. Now, if I click on free transform, you see those box icons, they appear at the side of the box. Now, I can click by the side and increase. I can also make it rounded. Are you seeing it? I can also make it rounded by clicking on the edge and waiting for this icon. Look, I'm studying my icon. Look at my icon. This is what it changed to when I came to the side. Once this icon shows, it then means you can what? Twist it. So you can either long press or click on the box to bring out that option. So when we're done, we confirm the selection. Then we go back to our move tool, which is this tool, and we take it and we start moving it around. Understood? So now we're still on image. We have transform, which helps you to scale, rotate, skew, distort perspective. So for instance, if you are having issues, excuse me, if you are having issues rotating the image, all you need to do is come to transform, then click on rotate. Now what this does is it makes your object easily rotatable. Okay, don't know if that's a word, but let's continue. So edit, we have transform, we have scale. Scale helps you to either increase or decrease. So to make a more detailed selection, you can use the other transform. Scale. But let's continue anyway. So you can use edit and transform rather than using free transform to make a more detailed manipulation to your object. Then we have perspective, which changes the perspective of the object. Okay, now this is what it does. When you click perspective, you come to the sides and you turn it. Now what this does is that it changes the perspective of the object. I'm going to drop it because I'm satisfied with this. Okay, it looks like a gem. So let's go back. So you understand what the transform does. We also have auto align. Now what this auto align does is that, imagine I'm going to copy this layer by clicking on it and bringing it down here. So it's duplicated it, or I can click on it and just do this. Okay, so it creates a new layer. But first, let's say these objects are like this. Hmm? I'm going to duplicate this again. I'm going to duplicate it. You can long press it and click on duplicate layer. Okay. I'm going to duplicate it again. Now when I duplicated it, I'm going to just make it scatter. When I highlight everything, I can go to edit and auto align to align everything. But you see that it showed me unsupported layer format, unsupported layer format. So yeah, that's what auto align does, is to align all your objects. Okay, it aligns all your objects in a particular order. Now, if I convert this, I will explain what a smart object is, but not in this video, so I will not crowd your brain too much. Then this auto align and auto blend, I will not advise you use it because most times it will scatter your work. Okay, anything that is automatic most times does not really turn out well. So let me control Z on this. I just want it to go back to 1. So you can go to edit and undo to do what I just did, or step backward. Understood? So let's move on. Then we have the next menu here, which is image. And in image, we have mode, we have adjustment. Now, your mode, I told you, you can only design in RGB if you're a graphic designer. Okay, most machines will automatically turn into CMYK for you. Okay, so click on RGB. Make sure it's in RGB. Don't design in CMYK. See what CMYK did, right? Now let's go back. Let me show you what I mean. Mode, this is RGB. Bright, beautiful. But mode CMYK, this is what happens. So you see why you have to design in RGB. Okay, RGB. So moving on, we have adjustment. Now this adjustment is the same thing that we did in class where I said you should click on the afternoon. It's the same thing that actually shows up here. So in the case where you don't want to go through the process of going to the layer panel to access it, you can go to image menu to actually access it. Now, one thing we did in the design we were doing is we did a fill color. And if you look at this place, there's nothing like fill color. Do you understand? So that means you now have to go here to access fill color. This is just for major adjustments. Okay. Now we have auto tone, auto contrast, which will be useful when you are dealing with pictures, when you are editing pictures. Then we have canvas size. Let's say you impute the wrong canvas size. The canvas size, this is your canvas. That's transparent background where your work is your canvas. Now let's say you impute the wrong canvas size and you want to either increase or decrease it. All you need to do is click on canvas size. And when you click on canvas size, this pop-up comes up. So all you need to do in essence is just to increase it. Let's say 1080 by 1080 by 1360. Okay, so click OK. It automatically resized the canvas. So you see what happened. It automatically made it longer. You notice? So that's for your canvas size. Then we have your image size, which work for your images. In case you have an image in your work. Understood? Then we have the transform, which you can use to rotate your work, rotate your entire work, either 90 degrees or 180 degrees. So please don't do that. Okay, we're going to undo whatever we have done. So we are back. Let's take our canvas size to the normal size. So go to canvas size 1080 by 1080. Is that fine? I think so. So now the next thing we have here is layer. And we can also create a new layer folder, artboard from layers. Now I used artboard in class and I told you guys you shouldn't worry about it. I will explain. Okay, now artboards are actually used to create more than one different file in the same workspace, in the same Photoshop file. For instance, if I click on artboard, let's say I don't want to create a new file. I want to create a new, I don't want to create a new file. I want to, this flyer is for one person, but the person ordered more than one flyer. Now instead of creating um different what's it called, different PSB file, which is photo P file, all I need to do is to come to new and click on what artboard. Now what this will do is it will create a new artboard in the same file for me. So once I click OK, you see what happened. It created another fresh one for me. Can we see that? Let me go to the right so that you can see it. It created another fresh one for me. I don't know why my system is not rolling. But you see, this is the second artboard. And if you now go to your layer panel, you will see artboard 1, artboard 2. Artboard 2 has nothing because we have not put anything in it. So now, when you have artboard 1, artboard 2, it means that you now have two different work in the same Photoshop file and PSD file. Understood? So you can also click on layer and click on create a new layer. Let's say out of all of these layers here, you want to create a new one. So the layers are the most important thing in your Photoshop. Without layers, you don't even know what you are doing. Okay, so you can create a new folder from here. You can create a new folder where you can put things, different things that are similar. So let's move forward. To go forward, you understand what I just explained. Now duplicate layer duplicates a particular layer. If I click on this layer and I want to duplicate it, I click on it, make sure it's selected, then go to layer, then go to duplicate layer. Now what this will do is that it will create an exact copy of another object. Are you saying it? So this is what the duplicate layer did for me. Understood? So now go back to layer. Let's explain more. Now duplicate into. Duplicate into tells you, okay, I want to duplicate this object, but I want it to be duplicated in artboard 2. Now what you need to do is to come here. You can select the project you want, but we are already in new project, which is the one we're working on now. If you click on this, you'll see another new project, which is this one, and another one I created before now. But I want it to be this particular one that is correctly selected. But I want it to show in artboard 2. When I've done artboard 2, I click OK. Now what this will do is that if I now come to artboard 2, I see the image here. Do you understand? I see the image there. My system slider is not even showing. I don't know why. It's not showing, so I cannot really. Let's see. Let's use our Zoom too. Let's zoom out. Okay, so this is it in Artboard 2. You get it? Good. So now, layer again. I've told you what duplicate need to do, and you can also use delete here. Understood? So it just works. This layer menu only works with layers in your work. Okay. Now we have layer style. How do you want the style to be? How do you want the style of that layer to be? I'm going to explain this. Here you can add shadow, you can add bevel and emboss, you can add color overlay, anything you want to add. That's what this works mostly with layers. Okay. Now we have the select. This helps you to select object in your photo piece. Now if I click on select all, what this does is that in the artboard 2 that is currently selected, because that's the one that is currently selected, it will select everything in that work. Now let's do the same for artboard 1. I'm going to deselect artboard 2. If you look at artboard 2, you see some dotted lines at the side. Now those dotted lines is telling you that that object is still selected. And if it is still selected, you should deselect before you select another. How can you deselect? Go to select, go to deselect. Understood? Now, when you have finally done that and you see that those dashed line are not there again, you can now click on artboard 1, then go to select, then go to select all. What this will do is that it will select everything in artboard 1. Understood? Now, inverse is just to inverse the collection, um, the um, the selection you just made. So if I click on inverse, it will pick every other thing that is in the work except that one that was selected initially. For instance, let me control Z. See this one that with the dash line is what was selected at the 1. But once I come here, select and I click on inverse, it will automatically select outside the box, outside artboard 1. What it will now select is artboard 2. Understood? So now I'm just going to go to select and I'm going to deselect that. Then we have modify, which we are going to talk about. Then we have quick max mode, which we're also going to talk about. Then we have filter gallery, which we are going to talk about, but not now, because what we are going to be using is very minimal. Then we also have in your toolbox, we have what we call the move tool. This is your pata pata of your tools that you're going to be using, because this tool is so important that you cannot design without it. Okay, now this tool helps you to move objects around, select objects. Okay, now if you look at, if this move tool was not selected, let's say my this second was selected, I will not be able to move anything around. Are you seeing it? I'm just drawing the shape. But once this tool is selected, I will be able to move things around in this work. But mind you, you have to deselect the selection that you just made. So go to select and go to what? Deselect. Understood? So now once this is selected, it means I can move anything around wherever I want to move it to. Any object I select, I can move it around. Okay. Then the next tool we have here is your rectangle select. What this does is that it helps you to select objects that are rectangular or rectangularly select objects. So we have rectangle select where we can click and what drag. Then we have the next one there, which is triangle ellipse select, where you can click on it, then drag to select things ellipse or in circles. Understood? So now I'm just going to select. Those are the basic ones. Then we have the lasso select tool. This lasso select tool is like a freehand tool. Okay, now let me import an image. We already know how to import, which is open. We go to file, we go to open and place. Now that image we're working with in class is what I'm going to use so that we will be on the same page since you already have the image. So now I'm going to place this image on artboard 2. So I want to move this image to artboard. So what do I need to do? I will select my move tool and I will drag it here. You see how easy that was? Make sure your move tool is selected before you can move things around in your work. So now this is what is selected. And I want to select the background of this image using my lasso tool. So now click on lasso tool. Then you start dragging around it. It's like a freehand tool. Okay, it's a freehand tool that you can use to select objects. So now I have selected it and I want to delete the background. I want to delete the background. What do I need to do now to delete the background? All I need to do is go to edit, then go to what? Clear. You see that it told us that we have to rasterize it first. Now, what we can do to rasterize objects in case you get this prompt next time is you will go to layer, Then you click on rasterize. Now, what this did is that the icon that was there before, there was a small icon at the side, it removed it. Now, that tells you that your object is already what's rasterized. Let me show you again. This was the icon that was there. Now, when we went to layer and we clicked on rasterize, it removed that icon. If you notice, please look at it closely. It removed the icon. Now we can now delete this background that we just selected. Let me select it again so that you see. I'm just roughly selecting around the man. This is my perfect selection. So select and click on what? Go to edit and click on what? Clear. Now what this did is I selected, it cleared the man. But I don't want that. So I'm going to go to Control Z. And I taught you what to do concerning that. You can go back and what? Select. Then we have what we call the polygonal lasso select, which is the most used selection tool, where you can pick precisely around the individual. Those of you that use phones, this should be very, very easy for you to do. Okay, so you see what has happened. So when you are done selecting, let's say you want to select this part of him. When you are done selecting, you go back to where your selection started from to close the selection so that you select it. When you are done, you can now delete. Are you saying that? Okay. So now that's for the polygonal lasso tool. And we have the magnetic lasso tool, which works like a magnet. So it picks similar colors. So you just need to click on a point and just start dragging it, dragging it. Just drag and drag and drag, and it falls on the path. It falls along the colors that it recognizes. Okay, but this is not perfect because you see what it's doing. When I come down, it's not picking the edge. So the downside of this is that you always have to be on the edge of at the edge of whatever you want to select. So that is that for the magnetic lasso tool. Then we have the magic wand tool, which we use in class. And I told you, for you to use this tool, you have to go click on quick selection. Magic wand just select similar colors by when you just click it once. Okay, but you see that it's not perfect because it's leaving some spaces out. So we are going to go to quick selection tool, which allows us to select subjects as well. So when you click on select subject, what this does is that it selects the human in the picture and leaves out the background. So what are we going to do now? We've selected the subject, right? So we are going to do what? We are going to clear the background. So we are going to go to, well, first of all, we're going to go to select, then we're going to go to inverse because right now it's the man that is selected and it's not the man we want to delete. So we're going to click on inverse to inverse the selection to select every other thing in the design except the man. Understood? So that's what we're going to do. Click on select and click on what? Inverse. Then go to edit, then go to clear. Are you saying that it cleared everything except the man? Do you understand that? Or you can use what we did in class. You can use what we did in class by going to select and going to what? Remove G. And remember, you have to watch a video for this. Do you understand? And you only have about 2 hours. You can use it once in 2 hours. That means you can only use it once in every 2 hours. So using the first method is actually better because it's free of charge. You can make your selection yourself and you can clear it by first of all inverting it. Okay, so I'm not going to use this. I'm going to go to edit. I'm sorry, I'm going to go to layer. Where's my clear now? Clear, where are you? Clear, where are you? Why am I not seeing again? So click on clear to clear the background. Do you understand? I guess so. So now we're going to start that design we were touching in class. So now we've talked about the magnetic lasso tool. We've talked about the magic wand, quick selection. Object selection works the way select subject works, not for objects. Okay. Now we have the crop tool, which helps you to crop a particular part. You know what the crop tool does for those of you that edit your pictures. So just crop a particular part out of the entire design. That's what the crop tool does. Me myself, I hardly use it. I hardly ever use it. Then we have the eyedropper tool. Now this eyedropper tool helps you to a particular color. But this tool you will barely even use it. Okay. So let me not confuse you with that for now. Then we have your inning tool. This is not, we're not going to be using this tool now, so I'm not going to be explaining it now. I'm just going to explain the tools we are going to be using right now. We have the brush tool, which helps you to brush over elements, draw lines, draw funny artistic effects in your Photoshop. Then finally, the last one I want to touch is called the text tool. Now, this text tool helps you to write text in your Photoshop workspace. Now, I want to type rejuvenate. You can use your own write up for this design. Okay, rejuvenate and refresh. So you get that. That's for your text tool. So now let's start the design proper with the tools I have told you you can design. Now let me just quickly touch the layer panel. Now this layer panel, okay, the way it works. Let me delete artboard one so that you can understand what I'm saying. You can see that the image is at the bottom while the text layer is at the top. Now, if I'm to select my move tool and I click on the text and I bring it here, what you will notice is that it is on top the individual. Why that is so is because in my layer, the text is on top the image. Now, anything that is on top actually comes first, will be on top of the person. So when you are doing your design, make sure that what you want to be at the bottom should be on your layer panel at the bottom. Now, in case you want to, let's say you don't want it at the bottom, you want the text to be beneath the bar. All you need to do is hold it and drag it down. Hold on your phone, hold that particular text and what drag it down. Do you understand? But I want it at the top, so I think I'm going to leave it there. So now let's create a design.